solutions, combining cloud-native capability with classified networks, hybrid and multi-cloud, to create a developer-friendly platform that is ready anywhere and secure everywhere. Visit MicrosoftFederal.com. That's MicrosoftFederal.com.
WTOP, that's Dean Lane. Sports at 15 and 45 on WTOP.
Good Thursday morning, April 14th. 2:15 at 8 sports time. Once again, here's George.
A good 3 days for the Nationals down in Atlanta, taking 2 of 3, bouncing back after giving up 16 runs the night before. They win 3-1 in the finale, thanks in part to Josiah Gray. 5 strikeouts over 5 innings, didn't give up a run, only 1 hit. Maikel Franco drove in another run at 7 runs in the 3 games. Josh Bell continues his hitting streak, which is now at 7 games. And for Davey Martinez, it's a nice win, but time to move on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys are the defending world champs, so it feels good to come in there. Even though it's early, but hey, we try to go 1-0 every day, and today we went 1-0, and tomorrow we got Pittsburgh. So, but we can't sleep. We got to be ready to play tomorrow. I mean, it's not going to be no easy task. I tell these guys all the time, you got to be ready to play every day.
Brewers take 2 of 3 from the Orioles, winning 4-2, scoring 2 in the ninth. John Means, though, left the game with the Birds with tightness in his forearm. They'll keep an eye on that. Clayton Kershaw was pulled with a perfect game going through 7. Dave Roberts pulled the pitcher after 80 pitches. In the 21 batters, he struck out 13. NBA play-in tournament, Hawks blast Charlotte, setting up a date with Cleveland. Vegas and QB Derek Carr agree to a 3-year, $121.5 million extension. George Wallace, WTOP Sports.
All right, thanks, Giorgio. As always, 2:17 on WTOP Thursday morning, April 14th. Among the top stories we're following for you this early hour, the man wanted in Brooklyn, the subway attack that took place this week, has been arrested. Greg James was taken into custody in Manhattan's East Village. He's charged with terrorism, and in a head-scratching development in the case, authorities say James actually called Crime Stoppers on himself. They say he told police where he was, then took a stroll until they picked him up. Maryland's highest court here at home has decided against changing the state's legislative map. In a court order this week, the Maryland Court of Appeals affirming the recommendations of a special magistrate's report to leave the map alone, despite court challenges to its constitutionality. The primary will take place this summer, July 19th. And President Joe Biden this week has approved another $800 million in new military assistance to Ukraine. This in the face of an intensified Russian offensive in the country's east right now. Aid will include, we're told, artillery systems, armored personnel carriers, and helicopters. Stay with WTOP for more on these developing stories in just minutes. Thursday morning, April 14th, where the time now is 2:18. Welcome in. Traffic and weather on the 8s and when it breaks. Good morning to Rich Hunter in the WTOP Traffic Center.
Hi, good morning, Dean. Right now, traveling in Maryland. If you're traveling eastbound on Route 50, John Hanson Highway, through Annapolis, passing the interchange for St. Margaret's Road and Cape St. Clair Road, you get by the work zone. 2 lanes left, just a single right lane block. There's no delay. It's just an unusual sight to see the work zone there, and there's no work on the Bay Bridge tonight. 3 lanes westbound, 2 lanes eastbound, and for now, without delay in either direction. If you're headed back on 50 toward the Beltway, you're in good shape through Annapolis and Bowie. No problems going inside the Beltway, headed toward the district as well. So, good start there. Southern Maryland, Route 4 between Patuxent Boulevard and the Thomas Johnson Bridge there, alternating traffic one direction at times to the paving project. And even at this early morning hour, you'll see some delays there as they're putting down some new pavement, both on the bridge and on Route 4 beyond the bridge, headed down toward Maryland 235 Three Notch Road. So again, a tough ride early this morning in that stretch. If you're traveling in Frederick County.
The art programs like...
Sherry's with us in Fredericksburg, Texas on the wild card line. Hello, Sherry.
Hi, George. Good to talk to you again. Listen, I'm not very political, but I've been a big fan of Putin for a long time.
How come? Tell us why.
Well, it started when he was outraged by the decline of the honeybees. And I was suffering the same thing here, watching them die on the vine. Because we had seed, we were putting out saying guaranteed to bloom, but as soon as they hit those blooms, well, they started crashing and Kurt was outraged, and I felt like I understood how he felt. And he has always, Putin saves money on health care, and he and Trump put people first. That's how I've always known him. He saves money on health care by keeping his people well. He has these non-GMO fields. He feeds them right. He doesn't give them the things that are going to make him sick. We profit from our people being sick. It's just that Trump and Putin seem to have a lot in common. And I like the questions you're asking, George, because he's the head of the church, and we're primarily Christians here, but we try to be tolerant of everyone's religion. And I think he's the same way, and I don't think he wants his children to have to suffer like our children are suffering here.
Now, the fact, though, Sherry, that he's in Ukraine killing people and things like that, have your views changed about him?
I think he's being blamed for some of that because there was a hospital that was emptied by his fascist army and his fighting. It was emptied of everyone and blamed Putin on it, but he had nothing to do with it, George. He had nothing to do with it. Maybe he thinks that he bombed this hospital full of children. No, there were people in the area who had family and they lived there, and they were familiar with the hospital and said they had some film of people going in there and seeing that everyone was out, and then they bombed it and filmed it and blamed it on Putin.
All right, well, let's go to you, Robert, because Sherry sounds like my news guest, Dr. John Curtis, who also seems to claim that these things are happening to Putin to get him.
Well, two things that I've noticed is that there's an alignment between pro-Russian propaganda on social media and also sort of the right-wing support of Russia. And if you Google things like Azov and Nazis or mercenaries, what you see is a narrative coming out of Russia that Ukraine is controlled by Nazis and that Putin has to save the Ukrainians from the Nazis, right? It's a convenient excuse. It's not a good one. Secondly, Putin is revered by many people because he's such a charismatic, colorful person. You know, he poses for funny pictures. He makes speeches about nationalism. And I have no problem with people liking what Putin did for Russia. The problem becomes when you see the amount of devastation meted out on Ukraine, you can't excuse that. There's no excuse for that. It's something that would change just about anyone's mind. So you watch what he's doing, listen to the Russian troops, listen to the people that are, sort of understanding what's really going on in Ukraine, and it's just a very sad situation.
Who did Zelensky replace? Was it an overthrow?
It was an election, and Zelensky was kind of sort of pro-Russian. That's his neighbor. I can't pronounce his name. The previous guy was actually one step away from the pro-Russian guy that Manafort was involved in. So there's been a lot of political machinations and then violence since 2014 as Putin constantly tries to bring Ukraine back into the skirts of Mother Russia.
Let's go to Ron in Berrien Springs, Michigan. Welcome to the show. Hey, Ron, go ahead.
Hello, George and Robert.
Hi there.
Robert, you say that Putin's goal is to sow dissent and chaos. With the upcoming famine from the Russian and Ukrainian wheat not going on the market or being put on the market under Putin's control, that's going to cause worldwide famine and disruption and people flowing all over the world. Plus, the Ukrainian immigrants fleeing the Russian violence, they're going to sow, in my opinion, dissension in many countries. I mean, already we're seeing on the American border, they're allowed to jump Asian and other people have been waiting on the border for much longer. We're under severe conditions, but no conditions that are under the Soviet invasion of Ukraine. It's brutal, it's violent, and it's going to get even worse. But Putin's goal to sow dissension, he's going to do it, and he's doing it in layers, in years it's going to soak in. And the Ukrainians will become, in my opinion, the new Cubans, except with even a more violent hatred for the United States and in particular the Democrats, because we did not send our soldiers to die on their cross for NATO. And there's nothing that we can do except negotiate plan, or else we're going to have atomic bombs up our are chimneys. Well, first of all, I haven't received or sensed any anger against America by Ukraine's refugees. Quite a few of my friends are working in Ukraine, specifically, helping people get out. Secondly, you're absolutely right. He is selling a much bigger problem. So these refugees are saturating Poland and making. We have to understand that this is the new reality. So what I'm trying to say is if you understand that the war in Ukraine is a global impact, then we need to look at it as a global threat. And when you put your gas in your car or you buy your loaf of bread, it wasn't a coincidence that it cost that much. That was a direct goal of what I call the New World Order, which is a group of petro dictators.
And do you think Putin has had his eye on Ukraine since it collapsed in the Soviet Union?
Well, okay, so people have their windows in time, right? Putin was very much affected when he worked as president by the collapse of the Soviet Union because he felt that was an excellent move. I mean, it was a very large space that was governed inadequately. He used the real right of Russia to own or control the historic boundaries of Russia. And then you heard other speeches or early speeches like, there's no such thing as the Ukrainians, they're Russians. Kiev was the capital of Russia back in the day, right? So, Russia is for keeping them from us. It's a very strange view of history.
And who are these Nazis from? Where are they?
Okay, so there is white nationalism in Europe. You see it now in Poland, you see it in Russia.
Still, that's right.
It's not necessarily targeted against the Jews like we watch the Spielberg movies. There's the Nazis, there's the camps. It's basically white nationalism. It's almost like a genetic protection, like they have blue eyes and blonde hair, and we don't have other races coming here to sort of run away from them. That are nationalist and racist, and there are some of them in Ukraine just like they are in Serbia and also in Russia.
He was right when he accused them of being Nazis.
Yeah, of course. But when you're talking about a very small group of people like that of Italia, which used to be more that way, but is less that way, and he's using that as an excuse to rescue Ukraine from those people. But President Zelensky is Jewish. It's not. It's a strange situation. How do you think it has to deal with? How do you think it unfolds? That's the big question.
Now open here, across from Tyson's Corner Center. Learn more and get details at diamondsdirect.com. Good Thursday morning, April 14th. Glad you're with us this early morning at WTOP. It's 2:28. Traffic and weather on the 8s when it breaks. Good morning to Rich Hunter.
Good morning, Dean. Right now, traveling in Virginia. Again, heads up for folks traveling on northbound 95. If you're making the trip from Fredericksburg, headed into Stafford County, again, the work zone set up between Centerport Parkway and Route 630 Stafford. When you are getting by single file to the left through that work zone. They're doing some work as part of the expansion project for the express lanes. For the moment, it looks like traffic may have been stopped, but now we're seeing some traffic moving again past Courthouse Road, so that's a good sign. Again, a combination of Route 1 to take you up to Courthouse Road to rejoin 95 beyond the work zone and any associated delay. If you're traveling southbound, the work is in Fredericksburg. As you approach and pass Route 3, there you're getting by single file to the left. Northbound, you're getting by single file to the right. So just be prepared. There were delays in both directions. Again, any combination of Route 1 to avoid 95. Not a bad idea early this morning. Later, Maryland Lottery's big new Mega 7 scratch off with 4 different games, 38 chances to win, and prizes up to $100,000 instantly. Rich Hunter, WTOP Traffic.
Storm Team 4 tracking a chance of strong storms on our Thursday afternoon after a high temperature reaching the upper 70s to around 80. We're going to see that chance of storms in the afternoon after what will be a very nice start to the day. Friday, beautiful weather all around. High temperature of 71 with plenty of sunshine. Saturday, pretty nice as well. Chance of shower late in the day, but a high of 73. I'm Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist on camera.
We're back up to 77 degrees in our nation's capital.
Spring is beautiful at Hellwood Estate Museum and Gardens. Explore magnificent displays featuring tens of thousands of cheerful bulbs. Come stroll through the 13 acres of formal gardens. Tour the mansion and be dazzled by the unrivaled collection of decorative art. And don't miss the special exhibition, The Luxury of Clay, Porcelain Past and Present, featuring historic and contemporary examples of beautiful porcelain. Hellwood Estate Museum and Gardens. It's where beauty lives. Plan your visit at hellwoodmuseum.org.
This is WTOP, today's top news, traffic and weather, 24/7, 365. The WTOP Producers Desk is wired by IBEW Local 26, now recruiting experienced electricians to join their ranks.
Good Thursday morning, April 14th, 2022. Welcome into WTOP. Glad you're with us this early hour. The lineup producer is Kenny Gilman. Among the top stories we're following for you this Thursday morning on WTOP.
CBS News special report. The suspect in the subway shooting in Brooklyn has been caught, arrested, and is set to face a federal judge in the morning. The CBS's Mola Lengi reports police are still investigating.
During their investigation, which is ongoing, authorities say they searched a storage unit in Philadelphia, which is registered to James, finding, among other things, a silencer and ammunition for AR-15 and 9mm weapons.
Police are reviewing a bunch of YouTube videos recorded by the suspect to figure out a possible motive. 29 people were injured in the shooting. Meantime, subway service has resumed in Brooklyn.
I'm very nervous coming back from the COVID thing with everything. Now with this incident, it even make it worse.
Eugene Yarbrough is a pastor of a church near the suspect's home.
Unbelievable. I couldn't believe it would be him. But who knows what people will do.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Monica Ricks.
WTOP Thursday morning at 2:32 in the morning. Now we turn to the latest on the war between Russia and Ukraine. This Thursday morning, the presidents of 4 countries on Russia's doorstep have underscored their support this week for Ukraine in a visit to the nation. Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia all worry they may face Russian attacks in the future if Ukraine falls. The trip by the country's presidents comes after Russian President Vladimir Putin this week vowed to continue his bloody offensive until its full completion. The Biden administration is holding internal discussions right now about sending a high-level person to Kyiv to show further support to Ukraine. 2 government sources tell Politico this week no decision has been made as of yet. It could be President Joe Biden or Vice President Kamala Harris, although the sources say this morning it is much more likely a cabinet member such as Secretary of State Antony Blinken or Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin would be the ones to go. In the meantime, the U.S. is providing another $800 million in military aid to Ukraine.
The U.S. is sending new weapons, including artillery and armored personnel carriers, ahead of the anticipated Russian offensive on eastern Ukraine.
We tailored this list specifically to meet the needs that they have asked for with respect to what's going on in eastern Ukraine.
Russians are focusing their airstrikes on Mariupol and the Donbass region.
They are now in Belarus and or Russia refitting, resupplying.
Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Intelligence from the U.S. and other Western countries has played a key role in foiling Russia's plans to invade Ukraine. This morning, WTOP National Security Correspondent J.J. Green says releasing that intelligence has effectively bottled up Vladimir Putin.
We know U.S. intelligence has been a step ahead of the Russians since this war started. And in addition to helping Ukraine plot its moves, it does something else.
Impose friction on Vladimir Putin. He's a KGB man. He is, I think, undoubtedly stewing about how do the Allies know what they know? Who can he trust? What technical systems can he trust? And the more he's focused on his own intelligence capabilities and who's betraying him, the more he's on his back foot, not his front foot, with respect to the invasion.
Amy Ziegard is a senior fellow at the Hoover Institution. We know U.S. intelligence has been a step ahead of this whole process, and as a result, the Kremlin is now conducting purges of intelligence and military officials trying to figure out where those leaks are coming from. J.J. Green, WTOP News.
In the Odessa region of Ukraine, word comes this morning. The governor says forces have hit a Russian-guided missile cruiser with 2 missiles and caused serious damage. It's the flagship of Russia's Black Sea Fleet. The Russian Defense Ministry confirming the ship was apparently damaged, but insists this morning it was not hit by Ukraine. The ministry says that ammunition on board detonated as a result of a fire. Odessa is Ukraine's biggest port. WTOP at 2:35.
1877 cars for kids. KAI.
Motel 6.
Well, what does that mean? It means that women and older soldiers get separate standards from the younger, more fit soldiers. That's not readiness. That's exactly the opposite of readiness. So there's
talking about future technology with Art, and then Lucy Pringle and Linda Moulton Howe discuss crop for circles and formations. All available to those of you who are Coast Insiders, and if you're a Coast Insider, you know what it's like to be part of the program.
Hi, this is Angelina in Redondo Beach, and I love being a coast-to-coast insider because I can tune in at any time of day.
Hi, I'm Julio from Slidell, Louisiana, and I really like being an insider because of all the interesting information.
Hi, this is Ariel from San Diego, California, and I love being a Coast Insider because I can listen to any show, anytime, anywhere, if I'm in the garden or in the kitchen, taking a walk on the beach, and there's no more sleepless nights for me. It's amazing. Give it a try.
Do give it a try. 15 cents a day. Sign up.
Okay. Right on time. Wow. Perfect. I'm happy to be here. Oh yeah.